Back at it. So part 4, the I-beam pulpit build project, and we got the cut. We got some angle iron that we cut. We're going to use to stiffen this. We're going to use it as a tray stopper on our plate, on our 8-inch by 12-inch plate that we're going to use as our top plate or our mantle. I'm not totally sure what you call it, but we're going to cut this down to fit that and then stiff it in the back so we don't get any flex on our plate. So we're going to go to the chop saw, old trusty chop saw, cut it down, get it to size, and then bring it back over here. All right, we got it cut. Bring it through. What's the best way to mount this now? So I think we've already got the center line on the I-beam. We've got it marked for the center of the top plate. So we're gonna move the Miller 255 multi-purpose welder. We're using the MIG function here. Get that out. 50, so is it 75-25 mix? Argon, carbon dioxide. And we'll hood up with our Miller hood. I think that's a Pro Series hood we got. And first we're gonna line up. We want to line up to make sure we got it centered, even across. Center up that angle iron onto that plate. Make sure everything's good. Now we don't want to invade on the face of this angle on this plate. So we're going to clamp it down, and we're going to do some side tacks to, again, not to intrude on the purpose of the tray. Not to cause a bump, anything for it not to function. So we want to tack it. We want to get the tacks, just get it stable on the side, but we want to keep it clamped down so that there's no spacing. That usually tends to happen whenever you try to do something that as a quick part, we end up missing something, and we have a little gap. Can't really fix. So without going back, cutting it all down, trying again. So we got that tacked on the sides. Now we'll go to the back where the rest of our tags, we'll space them. I think we spaced them like every 1.5 to 2 inches. Just a 1/4 inch, I believe. 3/16 to a 1/4 inch tack. Put our stiffener on there, but we want to get it located. We want to make sure it doesn't get in the way of our mounting it. So we'll get the plate mounted, centered. And what you want to do on this, when you put this, we're going to transfer the beam to the floor so it's easier to get to. there. We'll try that, but you know what? I think it's going to be best if we put it on the floor.
I got a mark on the surface, but I don't have it marked here on the angle.
Yeah, we'll find our center line. Crow's foot. Get that I-beam on the floor, like I said.
We got our center line mark here. We have our center line mark here on our I-beam. So if we have that mark, we can get that.
It looks pretty good. Oh, look like we did on the table. What you want to do when you tack that is it might lean one way or the other. So if you tack it in the dead center, you can still adjust it. You can still pivot if it's leaning too far. If you have something, you can level it out, measure it out, and still, like I said, find our center point, find our square level, all that measurements. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure the top from the I-beam from the flange. We'll start at the bottom flange, left side. Get a measurement there.
We're going to measure from the flange out. And we look like 7.
And move it to the top to bottom. We're going to mark it down. I think it was 7 and
this way.
7/16. They're all pretty close. We'll get this measurement, write it down, just mark it down so that we can quick reference it. We don't have to remeasure.
3/16.
Make sure we're getting the same vantage point from the flange to the end of the plate. And one more time.
7/16.
And again, it came out to a little tap. We did a little bump to one side to get it squared up. Make sure when we're welding, since we got it on the table, we want to get the clamp on it to ground it down. Got our trusty DeWalt tape measure. Tillman work gloves. Did a little adjustment, we'll remeasure. Okay. Side. Yep. Apparently that looks good. Pop the clamp and find a spot to weld this angle iron brace on. One thing when you're welding, don't weld the corners, inside corners. If you ever have to cut that loose for whatever reason, you want to be able to cut it loose. If you get in the corner, you're going to have to hack up the whole thing so that, you know, it's probably going to be irreplaceable by the time you get to the point that needs to be cut off. So we got that tacked on there. Top side, we got it level. Now we'll get try to orient the angle iron so that it's not invasive to anybody. We'll get it tacked on there. There we go. And weld on this, more weld on the plate. Front. You buy Dickies jeans. That's truck number 3, F-250 truck number 3 with the Roberts Printing logos. They did the logos for us. KBG Welding, serving God and burning rods. Y'all be sure to subscribe and like our videos. They're not all this monotone, but I'm trying to be quiet because my wife's sleeping. Usually have a little bit more excitement in my voice. So we'll pack this out. Hit the bottom. We don't need a whole lot of weld. We're not holding up a house or anything. We're just, somebody's going to be leaning on it, I'm sure, but we want to keep even, so it's not pulling one way or the other. And so we'll get these welds in. Do an adjustment again because it's not a static. It's not a static. It's not like a weld test where it's a static weld. We have to go from every position. Just convenience in these situations. You want to get the best weld quality that you can. Testing out the stability, and you know what? I think I'm just not comfortable with that staying upright. The moment you put any pressure, it falls away with that, just that cross I-beam. We don't want to do a lot of invasive by adding I-beam to it to stabilize the forward and backwards motion, like a lot more or less invasive answer to that. So I think we're going to find some angle iron, and we're going to put a piece of angle iron there just to be a small stop. So we go to the scrap pile, find a piece of angle iron, and I think we'll put this back on the table. Just again for the accessibility. We found a piece of angle iron. I think it was 2x2. Get that up there on the flat surface. And this one you don't, again, the weld doesn't have to be a whole lot. We're not, this isn't a building. I'll do y'all a favor and spin this around so you can actually see what's going on. We get that angle iron flat.
So we're just going to put it dead center.
Flush and center. Tack on this one side, tack on the other side, and then we'll get a little bit weld on the sides.
And then one thing on these projects, when you're doing something, when you're welding, you want to.
You don't have to weld all the way around because, again, same reason. You ever cut it off, it's all that much more work you have to do. And you're probably going to hack up the whole piece. So. There we go.
The rest of this we're just doesn't have to be a solid. That way it gives us
a lot of free flow coming there. We need to find a piece of angle iron coming back this way.
Put another one on this side, prevent, because I know we tend to lean on it.
We'll go ahead and weld this out.
And we don't want it falling on the gun. So we'll
We're
weld this out.
stitching
We're
it.
just going to do some stitch welds. We don't have to weld it all the way out.
So it's a 6-inch I-beam, so W6 by 12.5. I think this comes out to about 75 pounds, roughly. Check to see where else we can get a weld in that doesn't lock us in for life.
Change this out. Corners. I got a corner there, but I got minimal corner. So the thing is, if we ever want to cut this apart, for whatever reason, say this rusts out, whatever the case might be, it dings, bangs, we just find some wood off Noah's Ark,
gets it.
And we
But
just
lay it
lift
down one more
with it,
time.
and we just want to push it. Well, if you weld in a corner, you're never going to cut it out. So you're kind of limited from that point on as far as what you can do with it. You're kind of stuck, right? So what you want to do is avoid the corners. So on these, again, we're not going to be, even if somebody stands on it, our tack should hold it. Now, if there could be some things done to it that, hey,
bottom side.
it's probably going to be damaged anyway. But what we want to do is get it stable, get it solidified, but again, have the option, leave yourself the option, or somebody in the future the option to, if they want to replace it, they want to remove it, that they can, without doing too much damage.
Okay, so we got a little gap here with our hack job that I did on the cut and that coping. So it'll take us a little longer. To fill this in, we'll do a little J-weld. We'll go a little bit out, come back, out, come back, just to fill this gap in. It's not too major, but not ideal. Hope you're enjoying the content. Subscribe, like, share. Saturday workshop.
Now we got a little gap. Remember our pack job for
Whatever weld this is, it'll lock it in for the duration. Pretty good.
Little fill in on the weld.
And we have the other side. I think we have the other side.
Plenty of
as
tack
well.
on that. Weld, we got
in there.
stitch on there. We got the stitch.
A little more of that
I want to put a
stitch.
little bit this way. Extend this out because we got two sides, two welds on the other side.
Locked in. Good stuff. You see the by 12.5 there on the stamp.
Balance it out.
And the part number. Backside. One more fill in. And again, we just did the J-weld here. So you go up along the metal, come back,
Not too bad.
go up so as to fill that gap. Staying on the metal the whole time. Come back, let it fill. I'm just doing the J motion. Again, allowing it to fill that gap. Just filler wire. You don't have to do that if you have a better cut with your torch. Got anything else? Did I miss anything? I think there's a couple. We won't try to fill that in where that angle iron tries to meet the I-beam. I think we'll just solidify some tacks along this every 2 inches. 1/4 inch tacks. Evenly spaced.
Give it a look once over, one more look.
Sturdy. Plate seems to be sturdy. Check it out.
On the back side.
Welds look good. It's clean. Yeah.
So,
Let's get it off the table where it'll usually be sitting on the floor. And that looks like that's a wrap. So there we go. That looks like a wrap to the Pulpit build. Check it out, get a close up.
So
Look at it.
there we go.
There you go. It's 1/8 inch. We got a 6-inch I-beam cut down
Yeah.
together. We got the 1/8 inch by 12 inch plate and 1x1.
All right, y'all. Well, there we have it. I think that's a wrap. I think we got it knocked out.
Thanks for checking us out, man. Saturday
Thanks
workshop.
for checking us out, man.
KBG Welding.
Workshop's done. This part,
Be
this
sure to
series,
subscribe, like, and all that.
we'll move on to something. Not totally sure what we got for next week, but we'll get back to building something, working on something. Might have a. I don't want to commit to anything because there's a whole lot of options. So there we go. I-beam Pulpit build completed. Glory. Man, thanks for checking us out. Like I said, subscribe, like, share, send some ideas. Join, support, give to our. You can give to what we're doing as far as the workshop, and just want to bring it to those that need, that want to learn the trade. If you want to learn the trade, just learn about the trade. Hey, we're here, KBG Welding, man, serving God, burning rods. Thanks for checking us out. Have a good weekend.